Good morning. I got something to share with you. God's been placing on my heart the last couple of days. But then also, I wanted to share an older video that has a message that the Lord would like to go ahead and reiterate on, which is great because it's important. And but first, the word that He's been sharing with me is very small, short to the point, but it's important. The last couple of days, I had read the story that Aaron, hi Kelly, that Aaron had this time with the Lord Jesus, and he was filling vessels and signing them. And what those vessels are us. And he's filling them. And she was talking about, why can't you do things now? And he said, would you like me to leave the rest of the vessels and just take care of it now? And she's like, of course not, because what would that mean? That would mean that a lot of them that are meant to be serving the Lord and the remnant and the bride would be forsaken. Okay, well, as I was reading this, the Lord spoke to me. He's building and working. Sorry, you're going to hear noises. He said to me, until every single vessel has been prepared, I cannot come, not a minute before. And he said, my timing is absolutely perfect, but my children are begging me to come now. They're begging because they're desperate. But you need to understand, his Spirit's coming in. You need to understand, says God, that when you try to quicken the hand of God, you only deplete the purpose behind it. In other words, he can't move forward until the time is right. So all you do is, how can I say the right words? It's like all you're doing is begging in vain, and your processing in your brain is going in vain. Does this make sense? It's in vain because he can't possibly move forward till the time is right. He's God. His timing is perfect. If you just want to get out of this mess, you're forsaking those other Christians that weren't quite ready yet. He's still filling vessels. He's still preparing. He's still refining. He's still getting things ready. Things need to be done in order. God is a God of order and a God of balance. Okay? And so the word needs to be played out exactly as he planned it from the beginning of time. What he's saying is, if you try to hinder that, you just make it harder on yourself because he can't. It's impossible. What he wants us to do is be more prepared ourselves. Get your house in order because what's coming is coming close. It's close. Now, at the beginning of the year, he told me about he's going to start exposing more than ever before. He's doing that. Have you noticed? He said things will keep accelerating even more. That's happening. Have you noticed? He said, I'll even expose in your own households. That's been happening. It happened with Dawn. He's exposing the wickedness. He's exposing evil plans. He will take care of this. Okay, the thing we need to remember is we are protected. He will take care of us. We need to have our faith in our spiritual man's legs strong. We need to have faith. This is what we need to do. Have faith that God has us. Be obedient in whatever he says. What is he saying? What he's showing me is you need to be about your Father's business. You need to be in worship and praise, praying for people's lost souls, praying for God's will to be done in every nation. I've been praying for Israel and other people and just say, God, let your will be done. Now, there was a shaking going on. Remember, he also said that. He's going to shake people right to the core. Well, my cousin just got a word a few weeks ago that she has stage 4 cancer, stomach cancer. And I was devastated. I just cried and cried. I'm like, no, she's a precious soul. One of the most beautiful women I've ever known. Very sweet, very loving. And I said, Lord, I don't understand. And I wasn't sure if she was ready yet to go through this and to meet her maker. And the Lord showed up while we were talking, and I started to pray for her. And the Lord said, this is not meant unto death, but that he shook her. He was shaking her to wake her. And this is what he's doing right now. He will shake you to wake you. And that's what he said to her. And it did. She started rededicating her life to God. Things worked out. Now, see, someone would take that as a bad thing. And oh my gosh, this is terrible. And look what's going on. And how could you, God? But God allowed it. God didn't put the cancer on her, but God allowed it to shake her so he could wake her. And this is exactly what's going on right now. There's going to be spiritual awakenings like never before. He will use whatever means he needs to do that wake you up. And that might be cancer. That might be a shaking in your marriage, whatever it takes, but it woke her up. After the fact, I went to pray, and I've been praying every day, thanking God for healing her. I'm going to pray with her today because she does another chemo tomorrow. We're going to pray, and I want you to agree with me on this. We're going to pray that she doesn't get so sick like last time. She's had one treatment so far, and I've been praying every day, and she said, I noticed after one treatment, it went down a little bit. She said she could feel the pain was less when the doctor pressed on her stomach. Well, praise God, he's on the throne. But he's doing what he said he needed to do. He is shaking her to wake her. If he has to bring you down to the lowest of low, then he'll do that. Okay? Because he loves you enough to do so. All right? But when after I got done and I was talking to the Lord and I was praying for her again, I was just thanking him. God, I'm thanking you that you're going to turn this around, that you accomplished what you were doing, but you shook her, now she's waking up. And then he said, this is not unto death, but unto life. This sickness, this cancer was not unto death, but unto life. And I knew right away what he's saying. Not life meaning you're not going to die, meaning spiritual life. This shaking, which was meant to bring her to death, is now going to bring her to life spiritually. Well, praise God. What a great thing. What a blessing God has given. Okay? So now the message, he wants me to go ahead and do it today. This was from August, this past August. Me and Deb were driving. Deb was from the women's group, and God wanted to bless her and give her freedom and release her. And he decided to use me to do it. I didn't have much to offer, but what I had, I gave. Now, this is what God is saying to you today and repeating this. I wish he wasn't pounding. I'm sorry. I live in a construction zone now. But what he said is this: don't miss your blessing. Do you know he's pouring out blessings on top of the refining and the firing and all the rest? He's blessing. He's giving gifts. He's done it for me. He's doing it for others. Don't turn away your blessing. And the reason I'm playing this is because he said this morning, as someone made mention of this video from August, and I don't remember what they even said. There's some, it's funny. I'm super hoarse in it, and we're laughing and we're funny, but the message is still the same. Don't lose your blessing. If she would have refused because she got into her own head, she would have lost a beautiful thing God was doing. Okay? So we can actually lose our blessing, lose our gifts by turning away. And the Lord just said, now attitude. It's not just the fact of, well, I don't think I want to do that. And that was an open door for the Lord. He just said right now, he said, tell them there's going to be a lot of doors opening, coming. There's going to be a lot of doors opening. Make sure you walk through it because it's a choice. You can say, no, Lord, I don't think that's right for me. And you could lose not only a blessing, but God is saying you could lose the opportunity to be used for his purpose. Oh, God, I love you. Thank you. He's talking to me. I'm like, God, I want to share something today. I want to help him. And all of a sudden he showed me the video and he's like, do this. And he's talking. Guys, don't lose your blessing and don't lose your opportunity. The doors are going to be opening. Okay? So he's right below me. I can feel the vibrations on the floor. God bless construction zones. Okay, so I'm going to let you listen to this, okay? I want you to really listen to the message that Deb could have easily walked away from this beautiful blessing that has completely saved her life and changed her life completely. But remember, God said this is not the only message today. The message today are three things. One is, don't keep focusing on getting out of here. Focus on being about your Father's business and focus on getting your house in order because stuff is about to happen and he wants you prepared. Stand in faith that he has you. The second one is make sure, I'm starting to forget things. Make sure that you not only do not walk away from your blessing and the gifts God is trying to give you, but you do not walk away from an opportunity to be used for his glory. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the video. Enjoy it. It's funny. I was even laughing. It's been a while since we've done this. August. I don't know. I guess we're looking at a few months. It'd be a year, but enjoy, and you get to meet Deb. Take this in all the way. I can't get it in. Oh wait, I did it there. Okay, so we're gonna have a talk. Hi guys. I can't see if there's anyone there. I don't think so. Can't see. You're on a road trip. We're coming home from Walmart. And we decided, why is that all black there? I don't know. I'd be careful so we don't drop it, honey.
It's not dark. It's not going to drop.
Yeah, we're going to look at the car.
Well, we'll have to
We'll
just deal with
leave
that.
it.
For some reason.
There's something ugly right there. Sorry about whatever that black blob is. No, it's not us. Oh, I'm so hoarse. Okay, so we were just talking. And when we got, let me turn this down a bit. Do you mind? I'm getting really cold. How about if I just turn it towards you? Are you cold?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, we'll shut up. So we were talking, and it was as soon as we got to one point about the conversation, we both knew there was a message here that God would love to share. And I said, I felt a stirring in my spirit. She said, I felt it too. So we decided to come live and talk with you while we're driving. I'm sorry, it's very bumpy. We live in Wisconsin, and these roads are not usually taken care of very good. So we're just going to give you the example of it by what we were talking about. Deb was in the women's group, and where she was living, they were kicking her out, but the main point of it was that she had been going through a very hard time with where she lived. They were verbally abusive. They were demeaning. It was not a healthy situation, and she was going down with it. And so the Lord led me to her one day, and the way he would do it is he would steer my spirit that this person needs help, go talk to him. And sometimes I'd get words then for the person. And so that's what happened. And so I invited her to the women's group. She was in Zab's group. And then she was in there, and every time she would write and say, I can't take this, I'm falling apart, I would go to praying. I would try to encourage her, and I would pray, God, please bring harmony to this home or remove her. She can't live like this. No one, especially a child of God, that is trying to be an example to others or anything else, when you're living in such distress, it is very difficult to be an example to anybody else when you're in such distress. And very hard to concentrate, very hard to worship and pray, any of that, because you're constantly being verbally bashed and under such distress. So then one day she writes, guys, can you pray for me? She just kicked me out. I don't know where I'm gonna go. And so I said, yes, I'm praying. And I went right away, and I felt the stirring in my spirit. God, I think she needs to come here. And I hadn't brought anyone to my house ever to live. And so I thought, well, let me ask her a question. So I said, Lord, it's up to you. If you want her to come here, you have to have her be willing to leave state, because that's a hard thing for someone to leave everything in it and just pick up and leave. And so I said, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to leave state? And she said, yes. And so I said, well, hold on. I'm going to see what I can do. And so I got up and I went to talk to my husband, and I said, God, you're going to have to move, because, someone living in your home, you need to have your spouse is okay. You can't just, bring people home. They're not a stray dog. Well, even then, I guess.
And we didn't even know each other, right? Really. No, I'm not.
You're not. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I just got to play a little bit.
I'll be a dog, but not a stray.
Oh, no.
Okay.
You're not. I just love to play. Okay, so let's get back to biz. I'm so hoarse after eating that ice cream bar. We should have done it at 4, right? So anyway, he says, oh, I don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about this at all. I knew right away. He didn't even pray about it, nothing, that he was going off of his own feelings. And I said, Gerard, I'm telling you, I feel it so strong in my spirit. I'm to bring her here. I'm willing. Oh, she can stay in my little place. I'm willing to give up whatever. And he says, well, I just don't feel good about it. I think it's a mistake. And so I just sat there or stood there, and I'm just waiting for God to move. I can't just go and have someone move in without an agreement. And then finally he looks at me and he goes, "You do what you want, but I don't feel good about it." I said, "Okay." I ran as fast as I could. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm in getting a silly mood. Never have strawberry shortcake little ice cream bar. I'm just saying.
Buzzing on sugar, guys.
Right on. I didn't think about that, but that could be. Okay. Anyway, this is the beautiful part. God came in, and when he said, "Well, just do whatever you want, but I don't feel good about it." See, he was hoping I was just not going to do it because he's not, but he gave me a permission as a spouse to say, "Go ahead if this is what you feel." And so I ran as fast as I could. I did not wait for go or past jail. It's like, thank you, God, I'm on it. So I just wrote her and I said, "How would you like to come live with me?" And she said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes." And she's just like, wow, wow, wow. "Yes, I'll come." Within 2 days, God helped me raise the money. We paid for her. Didn't you fly?
Flew from
Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
Flew from Texas, and because I was disabled, I couldn't pick her up from the airport. It was another state over. It was a few hours away. My husband wouldn't go get her because he really was upset about the fact of having her come. Now he adores her. They're best friends.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're family.
Yeah.
We're just like family.
We are.
And so anyway, I knew I had to pick her up and I'd never survive. I'd never make the trip. So I told the Lord, I didn't have the money. I said, "God, I need you to give me enough money to pay for a taxi to come all the way from one state to the other. There's no way I can do it." And he did.
We got an Uber.
That was, yeah, Uber. Did we get Uber?
Uber. We got a super shuttle for me to go from
Yeah,
home to the airport in Houston,
yeah.
and then an Uber to come from Minneapolis to Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking quite a few miles. But anyway, this is
Yeah.
the point. She took it. Now, when she first came, we butt heads about 3 times. She was emotionally very in a bad place. I worked with her all I could. God had lots of words for her at first, didn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember once sitting in the car, and we were both quiet for a minute, and all of a sudden I just turned to her and I said, "God told me to tell you," and it was a question. It was an answer to a question that she
Yeah.
never asked. And she said, "Oh my gosh, this is weird." I said, "What?" She said, "I was just thinking that. What about so-and-so?" And I said, "Well, God knows what you're thinking." I had no idea. We're just sitting here quietly, but God told me to tell you this. Okay, so that was really beautiful because what happened is, once God got her here, he ministered to her. And we had a few times there was a little buffeting because we're females, we were in the same place, and we were like, "No, don't do this. Yes, do this." And so what happened is, though, it wasn't like cream of the crop right off the bat, but now we are as close as sisters. We are best friends. We laugh all the time. So the point in that I want to make mention is it wasn't easy at first, but it was still a blessing. God's blessings doesn't always mean that it's going to be, like I said, the cream of the crop. It's going to be great from beginning to end. Sometimes the blessing is in the struggle. Sometimes the blessing, the outcome of that blessing will be down the road. But at first, it was very uncomfortable a few times. We butt heads. She felt she had to control in order to feel okay because she was going through so much. I want you to know this is a very normal response. When someone's been abused, when everything they have has been lost or taken from them, they will want to tend to control everything and everyone around them. And of course, that didn't fly very, very much. I did what I could to accommodate within reason, and pretty soon we'd buck heads about 3 times. But see, in the end, we are as close as sisters. We are like family. We are just 2 peas in a pod. We get along great, but it took an adjusting time, and it took a time where she was going through the emotions that come from abuse, okay? And so I worked with her the best I can. God was ministering like crazy, but this is the point. Not every blessing is going to feel great at first, but in the end, it becomes a blessing. Sometimes your struggle and your disappointment is a setup for something better, but at first it feels uncomfortable. I had to stop and tell you that. Let's go ahead and continue. The thing is, like we were talking, and this is the message. If she would have refused to leave Texas, she would have never received the gift God had for her. If she would have dug in her heels and said, well, I'm not doing that, she would have missed the opportunity. God had opened a door to freedom. This woman was so sad when she came. She was emotionally distraught. She was under distress. And the Lord told me she's waiting for something to happen, because she's always like, you're gonna kick me out. I know you will. You're not gonna want me. And I said, no, I want you. You're staying here. No, I know, just something. And then she would look, and after a few days of no one's attacking her, everyone's being nice to her, she's waiting for the ball to fall. And the Lord told me she's looking for it because she's so determined it's going to happen, because it always did. That she can't believe that someone would be kind to her and compassionate and be good to her and buy her things or whatever, right? But after a while, we've been together 2 years. This month is 2 years at the end of this month.
Now we're going
And
on
she's
3.
now to the point where she's not afraid that someone's going to kick her out if they're mad at her for something, or if she...
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, this is Deb, by the
Okay,
way.
hi guys. So, this story is more complex than there's even time to go into right now. But the thing that I was telling Joni, and I'm not trying to say, oh, I was so great because I was able to do this. The point was, it was really, really, really a big deal for me to leave Texas. I'm a native-born Texan, and I would have never have left. But I had to go through the door God opened. And if I hadn't have gone through the door God opened, I would have missed the blessing. Since I've been here, it's been just unbelievable how God's worked in my life, and He's healed me.
Healing process, yeah.
He's still healing me.
Yeah, he is.
And, there's just been a lot of trauma, and it has not been an easy life as a believer. It's been pretty tough. But I just want to say this also just really quick.
The floor is yours.
About Joni. You ready for this?
No.
I just want to say, if you don't know her, and you're just new to listening to her, I just want to say I trust her. I trust what she says. I have confidence in what she says. This is the most generous, giving person I have ever met in my life. And I'm telling you, we live close to each other. Yeah. If it was different, I would know. I would know.
Yeah, you said we live close to each other. We live together. You have your own little house
now. I have
now.
Little cabin,
But we see each other all the time.
We see each other every day. Yeah,
But it sounded funny where I bring you to live here, but now we live close.
She kicked me out, not really.
No. The Lord took a building and made it into a house. God gave her own little house.
Yeah, we turned a shed into a little cabin for
little
me.
mini. Yeah, that's right. We call it the cabin.
It's awesome. I love it here. God knows what He's doing. You just have to trust Him. That's just the message, just when you're praying for something, you're in the middle of turmoil, and everything seems like it's going to go wrong, and you don't see any way out. Just trust God, and He'll open the doors and lead you the way you need to go.
Remember the other messages. Like when you first came, it was so scary for her, so awkward.
I was terrified.
It was really tough, and because she was so emotionally, I want to say you were emotionally abused.
I want to say I was emotionally devastated because I had been under such intense abuse, and I'm telling you, this is from a family member, a blood relative.
Yeah.
And
which makes it worse.
It was
it's a betrayal.
It was horrible.
It was very horrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're up. But God had you out of there in 2 days. But the point was,
2 days.
Let's just say this. Now, the first message was, if she would have refused to leave because she got stubborn and didn't want to go, even though there was an opening door that God was doing, she would have lost the blessing God was trying to do for her. And the blessing she got was from going from a house of extreme abuse, emotional abuse beyond, and top of being family, so it's a form of betrayal, on top of a lifelong of abuse and problems and traumas.
And rejection.
And rejection, that was a huge one too, to a place that in time, it took a few months, I don't know, did it take us about 8 months before you got your own little house? But to having a family that truly love and care about her, that are close, that actually will be there for her whenever she needs me. All she has to do is say, Joni, can I talk to you? And I drop everything and say, let's talk. What's up, hon? And we talk.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's really true.
Yeah.
And just like she is with you guys, I'm telling you, this woman agonizes over you guys.
I do.
She does.
I
She
do.
agonizes over you. This is not
I care
just
so much.
This
Yeah.
is not just something she's playing around with.
My heart's in it.
She's super serious about it, and she prays, and she weeps, and
Yeah, I
she
do.
really does agonize over everyone and issues that y'all all deal with, that we all deal with.
Yeah.
This life's tough right now.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But anyway,
I love her.
I love you too, sweetie. The other lesson is this, and that is when God opens a door and it's actually going to be a blessing, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Right.
It was a struggle for me. It was a struggle
Yeah.
for her. But I mean, it wasn't
And
like
for
we
Gerard.
were.
He's so happy. He's so happy we don't fight anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, Gerard was really hesitant about it. But I'm telling you,
He is so
he and I are
happy.
really, really good friends. We
Yeah.
have
Then
a-
when I asked about that other girl, I won't say her name.
yes.
And he says, "Yeah, I'll give her a try
Yeah,
because of you."
sure.
And that didn't work
No,
very
that
well,
kind
did
of was.
it?
No, that was really
And then
good.
he's like, "Thank you, I feel better now." Right? Okay, that's another story.
We digress. We digress.
So anyway, the point is, God took and made a blessing that wasn't comfortable at first. And as you guys know, women, it takes a while for women to find their ground. Especially when you have
Sorry,
two
that
women
camera's
in
all
one
over the
kitchen.
place.
I'm just sorry. I'm getting silly. I think I'm
Two-
overtired.
Two pretty strong-willed women.
Yeah.
Too.
We
And-
both have good backbone and we're not afraid to talk.
Right.
We're not afraid to talk, but we're both got big hearts. I tell you something about Deb. That woman's got a heart of gold.
Oh.
You do. Oh, you do. You've got the most sweetest heart. I just adore you. But okay, enough mush. Oh, look at you. I'm sorry, my voice is getting so hoarse. Anyway, I just wanted you to understand those two.
Oh, we'll just stop there. I think we got the point across. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, the camera was all over in that car because of the bumpy roads. So that was unavoidable. But I hope you have a blessed day, and please take heed to what God is trying to say, because I got a feeling he's trying to open doors and some people are shutting the doors. She was a Texan that was determined never to leave Texas. But God brought her to a place she was willing. For some reason, she said, okay, I'll go. If she wouldn't have, she'd have lost the blessing. She'd have lost the opportunity. And her whole life has been changed for the better. And it wouldn't have been. She'd still be in the same spot. So think about that. Make sure you seek God in every decision you make so his will be done, okay? I love you guys. I pray you have a blessed day. I'm going to go back and have some time with him right now and get to work. I love you. Bye-bye.